So, by now you already know that Elite Dangerous Odyssey has launched with abysmal performance for everyone's machines. That is the main reason why Steam reviews are like a toddler jumping down a ravine, or cryptocurrency. However, 60 frames a second is quite playable. Well, at least that's what I've been getting on my RTX 2080 Ti, on the same settings. Sure, and in Horizons my framerate in equivalent place usually is twice as high. So, still, what does it matter? Well, here comes the fun portion. Frontier Developments, the creators of Elite Dangerous, released the minimum as well as recommended system specs for Odyssey before the launch, and if we take a look, it's not bad. A bit higher than Horizons or the base game, but it's okay. So, while I might run the game like I beat my dead horses, all at maximum! A more average Joe will have that rather than what I have, especially now in the middle of chip shortage. You want how much for a graphics card? What the fuck? So if we all lower our settings a bit, it will be fine, right? I mean, recommended specs surely run it at 60, especially if they just simply lower a little bit of the settings, right? It's not like you can test it, TheYamiks. Well, guess fucking what? I actually do have exact graphics card and notably better CPU than what is recommended. So let's test! Okay, so here the game automatically detects my system for high settings. How wonderful. But to give this our best chance to work, let's put it at medium. But without the shit-guzzling garbage that is blur. Fuck motion blur in the nose! Okay, well, compared to Horizons, it's about the same frame rate. Okay, so something's up, but, I mean, still playable frame rates. No fucking Jesus, what the fuck is this goddamn garbage? Oh my... Okay, well, so clearly medium won't work. Let's then give this the best possible scenario. Let's turn it into a potato. So first, low settings. Wait, hold on. What idiot put motion blur enabled on low settings? What kind of Neanderthal set this preset up? Okay, all is now on low, even render scale is at the lowest. Let's test. Okay, this is bullshit. This machine is with recommended specs. Recommended performance on the lowest settings? Are you fucking kidding me? Frontier, you exploitative, misleading fuckstick! This is completely unacceptable! How could anyone really release this, let alone sell it, and think that it was appropriate after misleading the public for literally half the year, and all the videos and media you released? But why is the frame rate so low, you may ask? Well, hopefully today we'll learn something new. So there are all sorts of tools on the internet to examine games. There are even tools to examine other things too. But today we'll just look at one thing that is rather interesting, called Render Doc, a tool that gives a graphic snapshot of a frame in great detail, examining every action that is basically asked of your GPU to do for that single frame. Oh, and for clarity and warning's sake, most games have their terms of service prohibiting use of such tools sometimes. So, if you choose to use this, use it at your own peril. So, during alpha there was this super awesome video done by Flex Creator. I'll link it down below so you can watch it yourself. But basically, during analysis of multiple frames, many interesting conclusions were drawn. However, that was alpha. Surely Frontier Developments had adjusted the game on the launch better than alpha, right? Sure. From a few sources that are more knowledgeable about this, they say there are a few changes. However, even a monkey could tell by looking at a few examples that Elite Dangerous Odyssey still is lacking even the simplest optimization methods like the culling. But what is culling? Well, basically put, occlusion culling increases rendering performance simply by not rendering geometry that is outside the view frustum, or hidden by objects closer to the camera. Two common types of occlusion culling are occlusion query and early Z rejection. So Odyssey, as it happens, well, let me just simply show you the images that I've sent of a captured frame from a release version of Odyssey itself. And here we can easily see that the game renders stuff that is behind the walls and more. So that is pointlessly wasted GPU render time. And if a basic method like this is not implemented, do you really think that they have done any more serious optimization methods? Basically put, here we can easily see that Frontier developments put out a product that was not done. It's literally like going for a steak dinner and the waitress brings out a burnt piece of meat that's still raw inside. It's fucking raw, you donkey! The final stage of development before any release simply was skipped. That's what has happened here, and we have the proof. So, what exactly happened? Well, we can only speculate, but the pretty clear and most likely case here of this bullshit is Frontier simply wanted to meet their corporate shithead fiscal year date, so fuck customers, fuck hardworking devs, fuck them all, let's just release this shit cause business. You goddamn idiots! Didn't you learn anything from Cyberpunk? Well, guess what? That game still runs better than Odyssey! That's how bad it is! So the real blame lies upon the management and higher-ups of the company. Those disconnected people don't even seem to know how a video game is made, or even how a simple product is. If that's all you care for, they would not think twice before releasing cookie dough marked up as exquisite and freshly baked cookies. This whole expansion has been already ruined by corporate bullshit, and frankly, community is already sending their message in storms by negative reviews all across. Releasing this thing is a despicable thing to do, not only to your loyal customers, but to your own employees. So for now, until the console release, those poor employees will have to actually do the job of finishing this beta of a launch. However, it's going to be done under constant public eye, which could have been avoided by simply delaying the release. But of course, we all know why that's not happening. So in the end, let this be the cautionary tale for all of us. But as for us, well, actually let me know what PC specs are you running in the comments down below. And no, not the frame rate you're getting or settings, but how would you judge this kind of a release? Where instead of talking about how fun or unfun features are, now we have to wait until the actual development finishes in the first place. That aside, if you want to support something that releases finished and fun stuff, well, do check out my Patreon down below and, support my content. But otherwise, I'm off to console my RX 580. It's crying in a corner after the abuse that was Odyssey potato frames, Jesus.